Hey, welcome to the Happy Rant podcast. I am Ted Cluck, joined as always in studio by my good friends, my partners in radio, Barnabas Piper and Ron Martin. We are here, boys, to atone for last week's episode. It was such garbage. I feel conflicted about even putting my name on it. But like all great performers, we need to turn the page after a bad show, and we need to get back on the horse. And we're going to get back on the horse today, boys, with some good topics, some controversial topics, some things that need to be talked about. But first, because of business, I need to talk about the Communion app. Communion is a church communications application that works for iOS and Android and your PC. You can find it at links.communionapp.com/thehappyrant. And if you tell them we sent you, you get a discount. Communion is scalable. That means if you're a huge church, there's a solution for big churches, medium-sized churches, tiny churches, hipster churches, small-town churches, which is the new city churches. Communion is for everyone. And we hope you use the app. We hope you tell them that the Happy Rant sent you, and you will love it because it operates a lot like Facebook without making people in your congregation who are off Facebook for convictional reasons, people like Big T. That way they don't have to get on Facebook to know what's going on in the church.
I think I just discovered a new favorite version of Ted, and it's speaking in third person Ted.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm like Alan Iverson.
Convictional Ted. I love it.
Convictional Teddy, man. That's the...
Convictional T.
I'm dropping that.
It sounds like a contradiction in terms.
I was going to say, to be fair, Convictional Teddy sounds a little bit like homeschool honeymoon wear or something like that. So,
which is another company I'm launching. I've been crushing.
No, that's not good.
Crushing my days. Dude, for some reason, Ron, the whole Day Crusher thing that we did like a month ago is still to this day the funniest thing that's come out of the pandemic for me. I don't know why I'm so tickled by these I don't know business performance guys that are so keen on that.
Oh, right. Like when we're talking about what was it?
How we're gonna get up in the morning and crush the day.
Oh, dude. Yeah. See, I'm just used to doing that. I don't even identify with how do we talk about it? It's who I am.
Oh, for sure, dude.
I'm a day. I just crush.
Yeah, you're a day crusher.
I feel like if you're an actual day crusher, you don't talk about it. It's a little bit like if you're an actual confident person, you don't call yourself confident. You just are.
Fact.
And so if
if you're actually strong, you're not having to post pictures of your workout and all that stuff.
You'll just rip somebody's arms off as needed. It's just you'll
literally crush someone.
Yeah, just when the opportunity presents itself, you just do it. So yeah, for those of you who are not bragging about day crushing, you're probably doing it, and you're just a natural.
Dude, you know who is crushing the quarantine though? All kidding aside, our boy Brett McCracken. Brett recently released a list of 25 essential foreign films to watch during the quarantine. This struck me in the pantheon of Brett McCracken movie flexes. This struck me as even a layer deeper. This was a bigger flex, maybe the biggest McCracken flex of all time. And I have a theory. I think it's because, if you're a non-believer, right? So if you're just pagan, worldly, too cool for Christianity, too hipster, too enlightened, whatever, you have a whole world of insufferability at your fingertips. There's no end to how insufferable you can be. You know what I mean? You can read half a science article and drop that in. You can do all these things. You can go full Michael Gungor on it. But because Brett claims Christ, and we're glad that he does, his world of insufferability, his insufferability window is smaller. But I think he's leaning into it with this one. What do you guys think of that theory? Pipe? Give me your thoughts.
Well, I think you're onto something. I think he also functions in just a sphere of art criticism where insufferability is the currency.
Sure.
You can't be an everyman art critic. You can't be a good hang movie reviewer.
That's true, dude. Those things are mutually exclusive.
Yeah, so that you have to function at a level of insufferability to even to swim in those waters, if you will. So yeah, I think you're onto something that it's definitely a small bullseye of like, how do we get away with this? But also still kind of hack it in the world of insufferable D-bags in general.
Dude, totally. And shout out to Brett for like, I feel like he created his dream job. You know what I mean? Where he's like, I'm a Christian. I love Christ. I'm also insufferable. I'm going to make a way for this to work, you know? And shout out to him for doing that. Like, not many people can do it. He did it. Ronald, what do you think?
Go ahead, Pipe.
I was going to say, I want to hear your thoughts. I was going to take this a different direction, so I'd need to hear your thoughts first.
No, I don't know what my thought. Here's my thoughts: is the whole idea of like a critic, like a journalist who critiques, who just watches things and then vents his. I mean, it's kind of like what we do every week on this, but there's something about like I hit like a wall with that because I was always I don't want to talk about other people's art. I just want to make art, so I'm that insufferable guy on the other end of it. But like this idea of just wanting to view things or read things and then report, write reviews, critique. It is the most, like, for how I'm built and wired, it's the most foreign thing to me ever. I just don't get it. I don't get like the appeal of it. So I'm not even critical of McCracken. I mean, everybody has their thing, but I can't even get my head into that space because it's so like, I don't know what's appealing about that. And I know people have to do it. I'm not saying it shouldn't exist, but in my realm of thinking, I just go, okay, go for it. Like, I just don't get it.
Yeah. It's hard for me to understand how criticism, not like insulting, but arty criticism improves enjoyment of something. Like it seems to be at odds with just sort of the sense of like, man, that was fun, or the sense of, wow, that was amazing. I feel like it's, taking it into the sports realm, you can either like break down a play or you can just like cheer at a play, but you can't do both. You have to be, and I feel like it's the same with art. So it is somewhat draining to me to be in the critic realm because I'm like, oh, it just takes away from the fun of these mediums. That's a great point, Pipe. Let me ask you boys this. Let me bring up something that has obviously created a bit of a rift between us. It's called Happy Rant Sports.
Okay.
But I think
let's do this. Finally, Pipe, we're talking about it.
Oh, it's come out.
Boys, I'm tired.
Dragged it into the light.
Tired of not dealing with this. Boys.
Yeah, it's good.
No, but here's what I'm going to say is like, so when I think of you guys riffing on what you riff on, whatever you've riffed on, obviously I've never and I will never listen.
Never. To that, no.
Yeah. But that to me is like so different than like basically being like a movie critic or like a literary critic or one of those people. To me, I love talking about certain things, but not as a way to sort of prove to somebody whether they should enjoy it or not. You know what I mean? But I mean, like, I get you guys wanting to vamp about, football and soccer or whatever you guys talk about on that.
We talk a lot of soccer.
Yeah, not a lot of soccer on there. Much more of a tennis and cricket show, really.
Like soccer and like ping pong or whatever you guys discuss on that whole thing. But like, yeah. So but I get that. Like, I get the enjoyment of that. What I don't get is just, man, all I want to do is watch that Malik movie so that I can tell people whether it's worth their time. And again, it's not even criticism of McCracken. I just would love to hear you guys talk about how does somebody kind of like get to the place where that's what they want to be? And maybe I'm taking this thing in a weird direction.
Maybe it's called being an academic. Okay, because academia has no concern for enjoyment. This is why like most professors are bad. You know what I mean? Because they're so fired up about the content that they're not paying a whole lot of attention to like, is this going to make their lives more joyful, right? Like, how are they going to enjoy learning about this or practicing it or whatever? And I think that's where criticism is, right? So like, criticism isn't concerned with enjoyment, whereas Happy Rant Sports is, right? I mean, Happy Rant Sports is just two guys not claiming to know everything, but like enjoying the process of talking about some stupid sports thing. And I think, you know, because we're Christians, we hold this stuff with a loose hand, right? So like, I don't care who won the 1989 slam dunk contest. Like, I'm not going to war over it. Like, it's a stupid thing to enjoy that's there for us. And, you know, we can have some laughs about it. So it has value. Whereas, yeah, I don't know. And yeah, this isn't a rip on Brett at all. This, if anything, it's a tip of the cap for like kind of chiseling out the perfect career. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like almost a 95% fit for him. Whereas like for us, I don't know, on a good day, our careers are probably like 75%. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's the most generous percentage I've ever heard, baby.
Yeah, dude. If I hit 75, I'm feeling good.
It's the best day you've ever had. You would describe that as the best day of my life.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. But I don't know. I feel like he's hitting on all cylinders right now. And that's it.
The happy rant where we're just trying to get to that 75% day.
Oh, dude, it's like 85, 90% on this show, except last week when it was like 12%. That was bad.
I don't even think we get a passing grade for last week. Yeah, we're solid F minus.
If we could only return everybody's money that they don't pay for this, it would make us feel so much better, boys.
That's true. I don't want to lose listeners over it though, baby. I care about that. Boys, I want to talk about another quarantine flex.
Yes.
And it's the 6 books thing, right? This is ridiculous, dude. So this is like the kind of internet thing that just sucks all the way around. But it's the thing where somebody started saying like screenshot a picture of the 6 books that are within arm's length. And you're getting these beautiful, like, curated shots of, like, oh, it's a volume of Foucault, right on top of, like, you know,
I'm looking up mine right now because I did it a couple weeks ago.
You know, right on top of just kind of the fun, like, piece of creative nonfiction, whatever this year's Hillbilly Elegy is, you know. So it's these, like, obviously.
And you know, some of them will throw in a novel. It's whatever novel is sort of critically acclaimed recently. So, like, take, I don't know, Where the Crawdads Sing. I realize that's like a year old now. So sorry, folks, for not getting up on these things.
You throw in your novel. You throw in a book by a black guy. You know, you're checking all the boxes, right? Like, it's just the most curated thing ever. But it
is 6 token books. It is tokenism in book form.
Right, 6 books that represent exactly what I want you to think about me, but they're not the actual 6 books. Also, nobody has 6 books within like arm's length of wherever they're
my
tweeting,
saddleback satchel doesn't hold 6 books. If I put a laptop in there and my 3 moleskins, what am I like? How am I supposed to fit 6 books in there? This is
shout out to
untenable.
Saddleback, but yeah, dude, they're not for holding books. I mean, those Saddleback bags, they hold like a half a notebook and a pen.
Dude, what bag did you boys get, man? My bag holds like a whole like basket full of books, man.
Baby, I'm not talking about like.
Are you carrying around like the trunk?
Pastor books, like real books.
Okay.
I don't know. It's thin, like it's a slim. I don't know this thing I'm looking at. I forget.
Yeah, the one I got, man. Really, it'll hold some, dude. It'll hold some books, man. It'll hold some library. You know, it'll hold a little piece of your library.
Yeah, I think if I put my laptop, which is a MacBook Air, so not a large laptop, along with a couple moleskins, which I always have with me, I could probably fit 3 to 4 books in mine. So there's no way I can do this 6. I can't do the 6 books at hand thing. Like that's. I also can't reach my bookshelf right now, so none of them are at hand. So yeah,
all right, the 6 I posted would fit in my bag for sure.
All right, baby. What were the 6 you posted? I want to break this down, and I want to get pipes too.
Okay, so I posted Jeanette Oak's Seasons of the Heart. It's a 4-volume series, a bunch of country romance novels.
Bonnet fiction, bodice rippers.
Wait, is 4 volumes? Does that count as 1 book, or is that 4 books?
It's all in 1 book.
Oh, okay, got you. Single volume. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Subtext. I'm sensitive. What's the next one?
The Care of Souls by Harold Sankbell. Like a pastoral book.
Subtext. I'm a sensitive pastor.
Shepherd.
Yeah. Sorry. Whoops.
Let's get the next one.
The Soul of Shame by his last name's Thompson. I don't know his first name. It's kind of going around our circle.
Pipe, what's the subtext on that one?
Soul of Shame. That's like that's sort of like Shepherd level up. So first one was like Heart of the Shepherd. This one's like Shepherd Counselor. So that would be like reading an Enneagram book, sort of.
Or it's like I see myself as imperfect. Like I'm just a regular guy kind of.
Yeah, I have to deal with my own stuff, that kind of thing.
I have to deal with my own shame. Yeah.
Enneagram 4, man. That's my book.
4 stuff. What's next, baby?
Preaching as Reminding. So just a preacher book by a guy. His last name is Arthurs. I don't know.
Subtext, I'm into the craft. Deep into the craft.
Always improving, always grinding. That's good.
Okay, we got 2 more.
Number 5 is a book just called Fika, which is sort of that Swedish practice of having dessert and coffee every day, every afternoon.
Subtext, Europe.
Subtext, curated Instagram life.
Yeah.
No, except that is really life for me. And then number 6 would be Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities, because, the classics, boys.
Oh yeah, you've not read 4 pages of that.
I was a little concerned that there was no creative nonfiction or novels. So thanks you closed out strong. That was good.
Dickens. I've got
dessert and Dickens to close things out.
I get 4 pages
finish.
in every time on that thing, and I just am lost. So
yeah,
because I'm just not that bright.
Yeah. It's not a good novel flex though.
Yeah, and it's not a very it's great when you can find the novel that everybody feels guilty for not having read but won't admit to not having read, so they're just impressed with you. So it's just sort of the like, oh, we recognize this as a classic, haven't read it, so we can't really talk to you about it. It's
yeah. Dude, it's a good kind of fun novel flex. Like it's more fun. People would roll their eyes if you did like a Russian author like Dostoevsky. People would be like, oh, this guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Pretense. So like Dickens,
this insufferable guy.
It's a good, safe, like center cut novel flex.
I mean, Tale of Two Cities is like it is mildly insufferable.
Oh, totally, dude. All right, so I got a little follow up question. Then I want to get pipes. Follow up question: was the feedback what you hoped?
Oh, dude, I don't even know
how and how not.
I literally have no idea. I don't think I got any feedback. I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So why would anybody post anything if not to get feedback?
Well, I'm
sure,
what I'm saying? I'm sure I got some feedback. I'm not really good at looking at feedback. I'm not really
Well, there's like social media FOMO as well. Like you see everybody else doing this, you're like, if I don't. Like, so it's just sort of it's like an entry level, I have to be part of the club thing, rather than we're going to critique one another's books. So
totally.
Like this is a participation grade as much as it is, and like how did you do on this actual project grade?
So you get like a pass fail for participating. Like, okay, there's your 6 books, your 6 fake books. We get it.
It's just something. It's something you do out of boredom, and you didn't have to come up with the idea, and you go, okay.
Dude, isn't there a tipping point though on doing stuff out of boredom? Because you don't want people to think that you're not busy. You know what I mean?
Well,
so it's like
here's the thing. If you're posting 6 books, the implication is you are reading 6 books, so you are clearly.
I'm busy as H. I'm crushing these books,
like neck deep, and Ronnie was like 4 pastoral books, and then 2 that were like a little lifestyle. So
I think that's a good mix, though. Like I think Ronald hit this. I think he crushed it in the sense of you got a little craft, you got a little like deep dive, you got a little shame. And you got a little fiction. You got a guilty pleasure. You got a couple of pastoral books that I'm supposed to read. Then you got sort of the Fika thing, which is like, okay, I'm not getting sort of the eccentricity of this guy. But then you bring it back home with Dickens, which is like, but he cares about the classic. Yeah, dude, the Fika thing is insufferable as H if people wanted to lean into that. But you only had one of them. You know what I mean? If you'd had like two things in that genre, it would have been no, totally. Too much by half. I do own 4 Fika books, so I only put one. Yeah. Well,
it's less insufferable knowing that like that's actually a lifestyle Ronnie is pursuing. So that's not he's not sort of a. I mean, that's problematic on a lot of levels. It's not faux curation though. He's like, no, I genuinely want to learn how to be a Swede. That's what I'm going for. No, I mean genuinely, like I pursue coffee and baked goods like every afternoon whenever I have the chance. It's you can call it whatever you want. It can be as pretentious as you want it to be, but I literally do it because it's delicious. So maybe hear this, and this is coming from someone who lived in Europe. Loves me? By me. Oh, okay. No. Flex by me about Europe. But I feel like you would make an amazing European because they're all about rest. They have the pleasant moment every afternoon. They call it the pleasant moment. It's the like
Yeah, it's baked goods.
I would make such a better European than an American.
You'd make an incredible European dude.
How do you feel
They
about
work like
bathing
4
regularly?
days out of the year.
Yeah.
Bathing regularly, I'm not. I don't. I'm good. I can take it. I can take it or leave it.
Okay. Yeah.
Dude, see, if you're gonna jettison bathing though, you gotta couch it in some like aesthetic or environmental kind of reason, and then you're good to like get rid of it. You know.
The problem is that I don't have a lot of environmental leanings, and that really hurts me in all those departments.
Dude, it hurts you. I know it hurts you, baby, because like per our convo about Brett, like I feel like you got to have some insufferable environmental leanings.
Yeah, I just don't
know what I mean.
That
Christians
way at
need
all.
to start like we got to start dipping our toes in that one.
No environmental, no political. I do not lean into those categories, and it's really. I mean, you speak about crushing. That's crushing me.
It's crushing you right now.
It's crushing my breath.
Yeah, you got to learn the right level of like insufferability on those things to remain like cool and relevant. And that's
I don't know how to care about things. It's hard to care about things that you don't.
Well, you just have to fake caring about it, which is what most people do, dude.
No,
I
like
mean,
I can't fake stuff.
But here's the thing: there's like a spiritual guidance sort of insufferability that sits above those things, where you're sort of the reflective Thomas Merton-y kind of guy. Where like never said anything about he's not famous for anything about social justice or hugging trees or whatever. But the sort of ethos has bled into those people. So like Ronnie can all out be spiritual guidance guy who sort of floats above the fray on those, which is its own sort of perfect insufferability.
Pipe, you've said so many nice things about me the last few weeks, man. We need to talk off the air because I feel touched. I feel
you guys got to bury the hatchet, man. Are we good now?
You're wondering what I'm buttering you up for?
No, not at all. I take it as genuine. I'm genuinely touched by it. I'm not. There's no sarcasm here at all. I love it.
Maybe he wants to write a book with you finally.
No, he does not.
Make that happen.
I don't do co-authors.
I really like that Ronnie has found his co-authoring direction elsewhere and is going to thrive in it.
Wilson, they don't co-author, baby. That's me and you. That's a purview of humble guys like us.
Humble guy,
don't like writing entire books.
People. Yeah, that's right, man.
You tell me I can write 5 chapters instead of 10, sign me up.
I'm there. Speaking of books and Piper, what were Piper's 6 books on the social media?
I lay it up, right?
Well, we called this a pass-fail grade earlier, and I fail. I just didn't do it. So this was not I'm too cool for this. Like I genuinely was looking for them, and then I was like, I don't have 6 books at hand. And then I realized to put.
Way to be honest, like no.
I love how where it's like visions of you like searching through your house, not being able to
Well, I mean, I have shelves full of books, but like I'm not reading.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be at hand,
right? I didn't have 6 at hand. I was reading like 2 at the time, and neither of which was I particularly proud of. It was like, a spy novel and Tim Keller's marriage book, which is great. Like that would be a good part of 6, but not like.
Yeah, it would.
I would have gotten a partial grade anyway, because it's like, well, here's 1/3 of the 6th, and one of them I was listening to, so it only sort of counts. But confession, like I was borderline just curating the list. Like, what do I want to give the impression of? Because I could put together a solid curated 6 books if I wanted to. I would have grabbed like the Michael Jordan biography by Roland Lazenby, especially because it's very timely. Let's see. I probably would have thrown the Tim Keller book in there. I have let's see. I'm looking at my shelf in my office right now. Oh, like Spurgeon's lectures to my students would be a strong one.
Oh, dude, there you go, Spurge.
And then I probably would have just finished it out with like 3 of my books for fun.
Just that'd be a good flex for this 6 books thing. Just put 6 of your own effing books on there.
That's right.
Just take
here,
that.
Here, these are 3 that I have fond feelings for.
Exactly. Yeah, they were just they were at hand. They were right here.
What's sad is I have more of those at hand than I do books that I would actually like to read currently.
That's so sad, Pat.
Dude, did you guys do the internet flex like a month ago where people were like finding a hot picture of themselves at age 20 and posting that? Did you guys do that one?
No, I don't have any hot pictures from when I was 20.
I think my wife did that one. Did I do that? I can't remember. I honestly can't remember.
Dude, everybody looks good at 20. Like, if you don't look good at 20, you're just not going to look good ever. You know,
20 is your last hope.
dude. So this is a pivot into our last topic, but my parents, man, shout out to my folks. They're celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary.
Whoa.
Probably by the time this episode drops, and we're having them down. We're doing a little party, and I'm putting like a book together for them, like a story of their life with pictures and like a narrative, and I'm really stoked about it. It's like the creative thing that I've been waiting for like 3 years. And so I'm going deep dive into this thing, but I'm looking at a lot of old pictures, and I found one of me and KK when we were 20, and it almost made me want to like get a Twitter just so I could post it. You know what I mean? That's how good we looked compared to like how I look now. You know, like I had a jawline.
we can do that from the Happy Rant Twitter account if you're ever like, man, I need to post this. So just
dude, I'm gonna text you this pic.
I can work with you on that.
I might do it while we're on the air. I'm gonna text you this pic now. But dude, I look like a third tier douche from like a 90s TV drama, and I mean that in a good way. You know what I mean?
Are you talking
like I was
about
the
back
douche
then, or?
Yeah, like back then. Not now, dude. I look like a guy in a show about old people now, but no, back then, man. Here, I'm sending it.
All right, I'm waiting for it to come through. I'm eager to see.
This is good rate. Dude, I got
TV
like
villain
cheekbones
Ted.
and like a jawline. It's incredible.
I remember those.
Those were the days. Yeah.
See, I'm at a stage right now. Like I don't know how dramatically different I look. I don't have a good enough self-impression to know how dramatically different I look from when I was 20, except that I was a lot skinnier then. Like I was 175
I bet you look the
pounds.
same, dude.
Pipe, you're one of those look the same dudes for sure. I mean, yeah. I've seen older pictures of you, and you're remarkably unchanged.
Is that good? Is that like aging gracefully, or is that just like having a baby face? I don't know.
I think it's both. Okay. No, I think it's both. Yeah, I mean, I mean, those dudes. So here's the bad news, Pipe, is like those dudes that just perpetually look young. One day they wake up and it's like, oh, dude, you look 56.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like that kind of a thing. But dude,
yeah, but you're 80 when that happens,
right? You've made it.
You're like stoked about
all that time. It doesn't even matter by then. You know?
Yeah. Pipe, you're like white BJ Armstrong. You know what I mean? He appears on The Last Dance. He looks like he's 7 years old. You're like that guy for us.
Oh, Ted, the picture just came through. This is amazing.
I don't want you to go back to that. Can you go back to that look, man?
You got the little greased curl on the forehead.
Yeah, man.
Dude, I'm just like old and ruined, so I can't look. I can't.
No, you can. You can. You can make the attempt. Big T.
Maybe that ship has sailed.
What was the context for this? Because
that ship is waiting at the dock to be reboarded. Come on.
Dude, so that guy next to me is my cousin, and we were at my other cousin's wedding, and I think we were trying to look like Boondock Saints. I don't know,
that guy couldn't look less like your cousin. What are we talking? What are we talking about here, T?
Oh, dude, he's my cousin. I promise.
Wow. Okay.
Speaking of my family, though, and speaking of my parents,
can I gram this thing for you, Ted?
Yeah, you can gram it, baby.
All right. Let me get it up there, man.
Yeah, get it up there. See what happens. But yeah, dude. So my parents are celebrating their 50th. They're amazing people. But my mom's name is Karen, and Karen has become, like, as you know, like the internet kind of meme version of like just a lot of words I could use here, but obnoxious older white lady, right? So if you're like a certain kind of older white lady, you're getting killed right now with the name Karen. But I want to defend my mom's honor by saying that she is nothing like that.
Poor Karen Cluck, man.
Dude, poor Karen Cluck. She's the sweetest, kindest,
the original KK. The original double
K. Like I'm not worthy to be her son. You know, she's probably disappointed in how I turned out.
Yeah, having met your mother, she gives off zero Karen vibes. Like
totally, dude. She would never complain about anything publicly. You know what I mean? That's just anathema to her. She just wouldn't do it. So I hope this Karen thing blows over, boys. And like my point in bringing this up was, it started to register a little while ago, and I'm like, yeah, that'll just be an internet thing that blows over in a couple days. But it's socked in. Piper, how socked in is this thing? Is my mom ever going to like reclaim her honor as a Karen?
Yeah, it'll go away, but yeah, it's not just like the meme that gets shared because it's a character. So like you can now call people Karen. You know, it's like she's such a Karen or that kind of thing, and it's going to stick for a while. Now, hopefully your mother is not super invested in social media because that could be hurtful for her.
She's less invested than I am.
Okay, that's
tells you anything.
That's both an amazing achievement and really a healthy place to be for her. But
the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
The crazy thing about this, I don't know how it ended up being Karen because I've known probably half a dozen Karens in my life. Only one of them would I call this version of Karen. The other 5 or 6 are like the nicest, warmest people who never complain, who will go out of their way to make, like, they're the ones who are going to seek out the manager to say how good the service was, not the types who are going to seek out the manager to complain that their salad dressing wasn't vinaigrette or whatever. And I don't know how this happened. I don't know how Karen became that meme.
Dude, it bums me out. Like, it super bums me out. And
what name makes more sense than Karen? Like, if we were gonna pick one, like, what is the?
Dude, that's good.
But Karen is so classic. I mean, dude, like, it's so funny because like me and my daughter, we used we had this thing about 10 years ago where we started coming up with like names that you would never name your doll, like names from the 70s. And like Karen was always one of those names. Again, it wasn't negative. It was like no parent is naming their kid. And I quote, from 10 years ago, Karen, Janet, Shelley, Connie, Kathy.
Dude, I feel like Janet would be a great one for this.
Yeah, but it's like one of those names where you can't even imagine those names kind of coming back as like most popular names.
But the thing is, like, Janet is gone. Like, Janet was a character in Friends or whatever, and she's not coming back. But Karen, like, I know Karens who are in their 20s. Like, Karen is a name that applies to like 60-year-olds and people who are. So it's like it has a lifespan, which is a whole different thing than some of these other
weird lifespan.
It's not like Gertrude, which just sort of disappeared with the Greatest Generation.
But then you could see that coming back because, like Henry's all like the cool name to name your son now. So like,
dude.
You don't think Gertie's going to come back? I mean, that's going to come back.
I could see Gertrude
it could for sure.
I really could, man.
But it's
for
just
certain
weird
kind of like.
For certain kind of people that are trying to be difficult in how they name their kids. Yeah, it could come back.
Like a bespectacled, like hipster.
Totally.
It'll totally come back.
But it's super weird to think that like I don't know, like Pipe, like your kids might name their kids like Shelley or Karen or Janet. You know what I mean?
Like dope.
Well, one of my daughters,
it'd be totally dope.
One of my daughter's names is Diane, which is it's a pretty mom name generationally. Not a lot of 11-year-old Dianes rolling around out there. But
how did I not know that? That's totally one of those names.
So Nancy, Diane, Judy.
Nancy's totally right there.
I'm just thinking, what were my friends' mom's name when I was growing up? Because like that whole generation, like they just sort of disappeared. Yeah, so there was like Karen, there was like 4 Nancys, multiple Judys.
Dude, your daughter Diane is for sure going to name her daughter's Janet, Karen, and Shelley.
That would be.
It's dope.
So dope, dude.
It's inevitable. Those are going to be the names.
Dude,
and I'm never taking them to a restaurant ever.
Dude, Shelley is an insane.
Dude, Shelley's on another level, man. That's
totally next level.
My sister-in-law's name is Shelley.
Yeah, it's an all-timer.
My sister-in-law. My brother's wife's name is Shelley, and it's Rochelle, but she goes by Shelley.
Oh, is that the long version of Shell? I didn't know.
I don't know. It's a long version, but
dude, there was a Shelley in my high school. She was like a senior when I was a freshman, and I just thought it was the coolest name. It was like to me, it was like a TV name. You know what I mean? Like I almost thought of her as like a TV character,
kind of like Connie.
Having the name Shelley.
Remember Connie?
Yeah, solid, dude.
Every one of my mom's friends growing up was named Connie.
Yep.
I went to high school with Connie too, and she was cool.
Yeah,
crazy, man. Crazy. Dude, so what's the real quick on the Karen thing, and then we'll wrap it. Is there and you guys have to tell me because you're on the internet. Is there like a white male equivalent of Karen? Because it can't be anything. Say what?
Kenny.
No, I think it's Todd. Todd is the one that I've seen thrown around.
Dude, I was gonna say I don't want it to be Kenny because I've known a couple Kennys and they've been stellar people.
Yeah, I've only known one or two Kennys, and I really like them
I've
both.
never known a great Kenny, or
Dude,
a great
I've honestly
Brian.
never known a great Todd.
I've never known a great Brian, Todd, or Kenny. Sorry for all you.
Dude, now I
Brian.
ride with Brian, man. The guy in the Boondock Saints picture that I just sent you is Brian.
Okay.
So like I'm pro Brian. But
were
but yeah.
Todd and Karen the names of the neighbors in Christmas Vacation?
Yes,
Dude,
is
they
that what it
were.
was?
Maybe that's the origin of this whole thing.
It might be.
That could be, dude.
Because
Yeah.
like they are very like quintessential Todd and Karens.
Yeah, guys, we have got to figure this out.
Yeah.
The
This is
etymology of Karen meme. We must solve it.
Hey, what does
Yeah, there's gotta be
etymology mean?
Like, what does it mean?
Yeah.
The origin of a word? Where did it come from?
Oh, that's right. Okay, thank you. Go on, Ted.
Dude, there's got to be a male version like coming to the internet soon, though. And Todd is a strong contender.
But see, I
And
feel
Todd
like
will be like, you know, the kind of guy that's getting crapped on in the internet right now is like the guy that wears like Oakley sunglasses and camos and
Todd. Yeah,
you know,
Todd.
Todd, like that guy.
Chad.
Well, to be fair, Ted, in this picture you sent, you are one pair of white Oakleys away from being Todd instead of Ted. So the image you present in this is very white Oakleys worn backwards.
Dude, I'm like one shiny shirt away from being like Richard Grieco. You know, like in
Oh, was this from
like
your high
Night at the
school?
Roxbury.
Was this from your high school performance of Grease?
yeah, exactly.
Because it kind of looks like that. What year is this, baby?
96. 96, baby.
Could you give us a
all
few
right.
bars of Teen Angel, please?
Dude, I've never seen Grease. Believe it or not, man. I feel like I'm the only person in
Well, no, dude,
America.
it's a scandal. It's scandalous. Of course, you weren't allowed to watch that thing, Ted.
Dude, I don't know that I wasn't allowed to watch it. I just never watched it. I don't know.
Oh.
I feel like, I don't know. Why would I watch Grease? You know what I mean? Like in the Venn diagrams of different kinds of people. I just wasn't a Grease watching.
It was just slightly before your time, is what
I think
it
it
was,
was,
man.
dude.
It
I think
had
it
that
was.
weird crevice of being just early enough to where you didn't care about it.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
And when it was like, even if you were around when it was popular, I doubt like musical theater was a big hit when you were like 8.
Yeah,
So-
no, right. Like we weren't going to school talking about like, hey, did you guys see Cats? You know, like,
I was only familiar with Grease because one of my brothers was in it as one of their high school theater productions, and so like I saw it at 6 or something like that.
Dude, I'm surprised
Roosevelt High School.
Johnny P was cool with that, because Grease is a little it's a little risque. So,
Yeah, but if your kid is like, I'm going to go devote my time to theater, you just sort of write off anything they're doing, and you're like, that's a
you've
better
already
use.
given up.
Yeah, well, and it's a better
Yeah.
use of time than a lot of alternatives, So
That's true.
you're just so happy they're not doing drugs. It's like
Yeah.
just act, just pretend to act.
Exactly. Well, boys,
I'll tell you what would be great. Yeah, is to end this.
baby, I was trying to end it. That was my ending the
That
was
was your
boys.
pivot. Your pivot side.
That was my pivot.
Well-
That was my good radio. Yeah. Boys, we've done what we always do on this program. I feel like we came back strong. I feel like to use a sports analogy, we lost by like 50 last week, but I feel like we eked one out this week.
You feel like we won, or we just didn't lose by as much?
I think we didn't lose by as much. It was a what we call in sports a moral victory. You know what I mean? Like
I would agree.
Yeah, it
with
was
that.
a respectable
we
show.
showed we can play with the big boys. I don't know that we defeated anybody, but we weren't an embarrassment.
We got off the schneid. We are who we thought we were, to quote Dennis Green.
Yes.
That was gonna be
May
my
he
quote.
rest in peace.
May he rest in
R.I.P.
peace. That's right. Boys, we've done what we always do in this program, in that we've wandered to and fro throughout some topics while drinking Redbud City Coffee Roasters. Drink Redbud, lest we forget. Never forget. # never forget Redbud Coffee. And until next time.
The Happy Rant is brought to you by Resonate Recordings. If you go to resonaterecordings.com, you can see the full range of services they offer. So if you're considering starting a podcast, they are the ones we recommend going with. Again, go to resonaterecordings.com to see their prices, to connect with them and ask any questions, and to see what they can do to help you launch, edit, master, and improve your podcast. Again, go to resonaterecordings.com to see what they can do to help you launch and improve your podcast.